Hello there. So we're going to go right now. So I am Heidi and I am with Opticom. Today we're going to go through products by industry. So that means that, that's what it means. We're going to go through the products by the industry. So you have an industry and what products you should recommend for them. Opticom's been around since 1973. We specialize in the industrial market, which has been really great for us. We really like that. And it's really interesting. So we serve a lot of different markets. A lot of our products cross into other industries. So we might have a product that we say, hey, yeah, this is the product you need for this industry. But we might also say, hey, that's also the product that you need for this industry, because they do a lot of things. So we're just going to kind of run through some of those industries today, so that if we can maybe get your mind jogged a little bit, right? Like about, oh, okay, well, I'm in that industry. So, oh, okay, I can go talk to this guy about this product, right? And maybe you didn't think about that before. Or maybe you've wanted to go and see one of your customers that are somewhere, but you didn't really know what you're going to, talk to them about, or what you can bring to the table that's maybe different from what somebody else would bring. So that's what we will do today. So again, I am Heidi. And we will get going. So one of the industries that we do really well in is the aggregate market. We've got really great products that fit right into that market. So if you're going into an aggregate market, there's a few things you want to consider. Number one, they have a lot of vibration on the actual conveyors themselves, right? So that's really important that you take that into consideration when you talk about cameras you're going to put out there. They are going to get hit with rocks, right? If you've got a camera sitting on a conveyor belt and you've got a whole bunch of rocks going by, there's a huge possibility and likelihood that that camera is going to get hammered at some point, or multiple times over, the period of time that it is installed. And then also another thing in the aggregate plant is that, or quarry, right, is that they can't always drop cable. In fact, they rarely can. So wireless is a really, really important option for that kind of a market. So I will show you what we have that's going to fit into this. I just need to pull this up real quick. So one of our first things that we have is going to be the CC02 camera, right? So I've got our CC02. This is, I think, my demo one. This is one of them, right? So this is going to work in anybody that's got an analog or an HD TVI system, right? So that's the technologies, and we've got plenty of trainings. If you're not clear on that, I'm not going to get into that today, but it's going to be a coax system. This is the camera that you would go with. So this is our CC02 camera. You can see right here how it is. It's waterproof, dust proof, it's vibration resistant, it's high impact. These guys are durable and can hold up to a lot of action. So this is the one that you would go with, and that for the coax, if you're mounting directly to a conveyor belt, you would use our VM-1 vibration mount, which is right here, right? So that mounts on just like this. And then you've got your camera here. It can adjust forward, backwards, things like that. And you can see on here that the mount itself has vibration damping on it, so that it's going to help expand the lifespan, right, of that camera, right? Because whenever you take any kind of camera and put it in any kind of vibration atmosphere, an environment that has that kind of vibration, over time, the inside components are going to fall apart, right? So they've got screws and it's electronics and things like that. So that it will fall apart. And that's what sets our stuff apart, right? From going with just a standard camera you'd find on eBay or at Sam's, or that you probably have on your shelf in your branch right now, right? Those are going to be commercial cameras, whereas this is built specifically for vibration environments. So this is what you would go with for that. We've got the same thing, basically, right? The same idea with another camera, which is our CC04 camera. So this one, again, is high impact. It's vibration resistant, right? So this is the CC04, and this is an IP networking. So we've got the coax solution for that, and we've got an IP networking solution. So it's PoE, it can be powered over Ethernet, or you can power it locally. So if you can see here, again, it's got those, right, the rubber grommets that help you. So the cameras themselves are vibration resistant to begin with, right? But the vibration mounts just add that additional something extra just to make sure, right? Because some areas, if you go into an aggregate plant, right, you're going to have parts of the belt's going to be one level of vibration and then another level of vibration, right? So sometimes you've got a higher vibration level than in other areas. So we need to make sure that we've got a vibration mount option for those high vibration areas that are within that atmosphere or that environment. So then you've also got the wireless solution for this. And I'm showing them to you now, but we'll just kind of talk about them as we go through the other ones. So this happens to be my IP wireless system right here. So same idea. If you're in, or not same idea, but if you're in that quarry or that aggregate plant or anywhere else for that matter, and they can't drop cable, you need to provide a durable, outdoor rated wireless solution for them. And this is going to be it, right? We've got, this is the IP, but again, we have wireless solutions that are in IP, they're in HD, TVI, and analog as well. So we have coax and networking solutions for this. Super simple. We try to keep most of our products as a plug and play setup. So wireless, we keep it very, very simple unless you get into doing, say, a city and mesh networks, and that is just complicated. You can't really keep it simple, but we would help you with that anyway. So those are the components, right? So when you're looking at an aggregate plant, that's what you're going to go in with. You're going to say, hey, I've got this great system. Do you have cameras existing right now? Oh, you do? Okay, great. What kind of technology? Are you running coax? Are you running Cat5 Ethernet? Okay, great. And then now you know which way to go. Right? Or, oh, you don't have a system? Okay, let's talk about what you're trying to accomplish and what you want to do, and boom. And so now you know. So the CC02, the vibration mount for that, or the CC04, and then the wireless, the part number on that is AR5803900 is the part number on our IP wireless, and then it's our AR4000 series that we've had for a really long time, which is our coax on that. And that is the aggregate, rock quarry, industrial product specifics, right? So after that, then you go into, say, the sawmill industry. So that's a really smooth crossover because they're about the same products, because they need to be high impact. They need to be vibration resistant. They need to be outdoor rated, weatherproof, dust proof. So it falls right in line with that. So you're going to go with the same products, that CC02, the vibration mount, the CC04 with the vibration mount. You're not typically going to do wireless in a mill. I do a lot of mills, and we only do wireless on the log cranes for mills. So if you're going to a mill and a log crane, they're probably going to need wireless about 95% of the time. But otherwise, it's all going to be hardwired somewhere, whether that's IP networking hardwired through switches or hardwired with coax everywhere that comes back to it. So to pull up some of the other industries that we do, so pulp and paper is going to fall in line, same way with that, right? If you go into an agricultural industry, right? So if you're doing farm ag stuff, you're going to lead in 100%. That CC02 is going to be the fit, right? You're going to have this with the vibration mount, right? Because you want this thing, I've got it on here backwards, to be super durable, right? And this can mount right onto that tractor or that machinery or whatever it is that they're doing. Right, can mount right on there. They'd run a cable straight to the monitor inside the cab, right? And we have the monitors for all of these industrial sites. So they would run a camera straight to the monitor, and then they'd have their view from the side, the back, whatever it is they need to do. Or if they need to have multiple views, same thing. That's going to be the best solution for the agricultural market, is that CC02. When you get into food processing, the food processing plant is going to be our CC06 line. And again, just like all of our products, that's going to be available in a coax, analog, HD, TVI, and then we also have it available in the IP networking solution as well. So I've got one of our CC06 cameras right here. This is one of our bullet cameras. We have them in a dome and a bullet, right? But these are food grade. They meet all of the standards and requirements that you need in food processing facilities. So that's AISI SS316, stainless steel rated, wash down rated, bacteria resistant, right? That's huge. It's food processing, right? So that is what you're going to go with, is that CC06 system. You're not typically going to do wireless in there. It's going to all be hardwired. With the IP, it'll be through switches. And then we've got, again, the NVRs and the monitors and everything that are going to work for that. I would recommend that you go with our IP monitors, right? Because then you can have multiple monitors in multiple areas throughout the facility with the same cameras on them, or different if that's what you need or that's what they need. So that's what you're going to go with in the stainless steel market for this. If you go into steel mills, right? So steel mills is another one. That's CC02. Again, the CC02 is great. The CC04 is great. Not so much of a vibration issue in the mills. I mean, you have some vibration, but you're going to bump into some heat issues, right? So the CC02, we did testing on that years and years ago, and it was 60 to 60 Celsius. And after we did the testing, we were all excited to be, right? Because Opticom used to be a Canadian-based company, right? It's US-based now. But we were all excited to do 60 to 60 degrees Celsius, negative 60 to 60. And then in hindsight, we should have had the camera tested for as far, as low of a temperature as it could go to see until it stopped working, and then as high as it could go to see when it stopped working. So that'll be the next test. But meanwhile, in steel mills, the highest rating we have on these CC02s is 210 degrees Fahrenheit. Not to say that it stopped working anything higher than that, but that's the highest that we have it, that someone's told us that it's still working at. So these are really, really great solution to go up to that kind of a temperature range without having to go into a water-cooled camera, because you need a lot of those in a steel mill, and those are quite costly. So if you can avoid that as much as possible, this would be a great solution. If you need to go into the water-cooled cameras, we are working on that solution. That's one of our next cameras we're hoping to introduce to the market. So hopefully we'll have that for you as well. That is the steel mills, and same thing with the IP, right? So we can go with an IP version. We can go with the HDTVI and then the analog as well on that. We go into refineries, offshore petrochemicals, so the oil and gas industry. We've got a few solutions on that. It depends on the application, right? And I always tell people when we get into the explosion proof and the hazardous, just like same thing with like grain terminals and things like that, you need to check your application and check your requirements. We've got a few different types of explosion cameras. We have some that are the entire camera is rated as an explosion proof cameras. And then we have some that are built into an explosion proof housing. And there is a difference in what is the requirements. And then there's a difference as well as far as what hazard ratings they have. So, so that's something you want to look at. If you need help, you can call our office and we'll talk to you about that. But here's one of them. Okay. So here's one that I've had out for all these trainings, right? So this is our TVI version. And again, with the explosion proof cameras, same thing that we said before, we have them available in the analog, HD TVI and IP networking technologies. So all of the technologies are covered. Fixed lenses, varifocal lenses, things like that. So this is what you're going to do in that kind of an industry where you've got that hazardous rated area. You're going to go with the explosion proof. That doesn't mean that every camera at that facility needs to be explosion proof. And your facility guys, when you go on facilities, your maintenance or your facility managers and the people that you're working with are going to know what they need and where they need it, right? So they just need, really, you just need to find out from them, okay, what rating do you need here? Is this hazardous? What rating do you need here? Is this, and then you can come back to us and talk to us at our office and say, okay, I need this, 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 and this. And we're going to say, okay, this one is this camera, this one is that camera, right? So just so you know, don't go in there thinking, okay, I'm going to go into this facility and everything they need is going to be explosion proof camera, because it's just not true all the time. In fact, rarely is it true. So you would need that. Everything else from that, I would go with our, again, if you're going IP, you're going to go with our CC04, because it's just an all-around great industrial rugged camera. It just fits the bill for so many applications. And then if you're doing coax, it will be the CC02 for that industry, anywhere that is not a hazardous rated industrial need, right? That doesn't meet that need or doesn't have that need. Utilities, right? We get into utilities, wastewater plants, things like that. Again, you're going to go with that CC02 and that CC04. They're waterproof, dustproof, so they can go into the holes. Sometimes people will use our stainless steel in those applications. It depends. And that would be a conversation of, if you're not sure of which way to go, call our office. We can definitely help you work that out and kind of make that decision of what's going to be the best fit. But those are the three cameras that you're going to cross with that. When you get into the mining industry, right? So the mining industry is going to be a couple of different things. Obviously the CC04 and the CC02, because they just fit all of that. So the vibration resistance and the durability, the ruggedness, all of that good stuff, right? The CC02 and the CC04. But we also have people that are using our CC06, which is our stainless steel units, using the bullet cameras in mining, something that's really, really cool and unique. And I have, this is the one that I grabbed, which is great. So if you look at this camera, right, you can kind of see it right there. Sorry, there's like a glare coming off my computer, but you can see that. So those aren't standard LEDs. Like, so usually you see an infrared LED on a camera, and I happen to have one here. I can show you. So you can see the difference on these two. So one's an infrared LED and one's a different LED. So the infrared one is kind of circular, right? And the other one on the silver camera, the stainless steel camera, is a square. That particular camera isn't an infrared camera that lights up or switches to black and white so you can see at night. It's actually an LED camera that shines out kind of like a flashlight. So it's got a controller on it, and I'll put it right here so you can see this little like controller that's on it, and you can adjust the width of that flashlight, right? So you can go wider and it won't see as far, right? It works like a lens, like it won't see as far, or you can go more narrow and get a little more distance on the light. So that has been unexpectedly, that wasn't what we, you know, created this camera to do, but unexpectedly it is going into mining applications and they're loving it, right? So that's a really great fit for that kind of an application. I always recommend the CC02 and the CC04 because those are specifically built for those kinds of applications. However, again, have that conversation with us, because sometimes, oops, I think I lost you there for a second. Have that conversation with us because sometimes the camera is, you know, there's just a better camera that's going to fit for that specific thing. If we get into manufacturing, again, that's going to fall right in line with the sawmills and a lot of the other facilities of the CCO4 and the CCO2, which are these guys, right? They're great. They go right on the line. One question we get a lot with the high vibration areas is that looking for a varifocal lens. So we don't do, and nor do we have any intention of putting varifocal lenses on our high vibration cameras. And we get asked this all the time, because when you go into a high vibration area and you have a varifocal lens, right, that means that you can adjust the lens to make it, you know, have view zoomed in, zoomed out, you know, fuzzy, not fuzzy, whatever. When you put it on a high vibration, over time, it comes unfocused. And if you walk into any facility that has a lot of high vibration and they ask you about that, you just ask them how many times they have to readjust their varifocal lenses, and then it clicks, right? Because they're like, cool, we have varifocal lenses right now. Why wouldn't you make that? How many times do you have to adjust it? Oh yeah, we have to go up there quite often. I'm like, well, there you go. So that's just something to know, a little nugget of knowledge in case you're wondering. So all of our vibration cameras are going to have that fixed lens and not that varifocal lens with them. Another biomass falls in with the sawmills, same idea, right? You would do the industrial. Now, with these industrial sites, I will say this, not every industrial site has to have kind of like the explosion proof. Not every oil and gas application is going to have all explosion proof cameras. Every industrial site is not going to need all industrial rugged cameras. So that's why we have another line of products with us, right? So we're not just industrial, do commercial as well. So we do a lot of commercial work in general, but we need to use both of those for industrial sites. So we kind of bring them together to create complete systems for our customers. So that means we not only provide the industrial cameras, but we provide the cameras for their offices. We provide the cameras for their guard shacks, for their weigh stations. We provide the software for their entire facility that they can tie in with their office software, right? Or their NVRs or their DVRs or whatever it is, right? We do all the monitors, right? We have the wireless for that area over there that needs wireless, right? So we have the complete solution. So when you're walking into an industrial site and you're not really sure, you know, or you've seen the guy 15 times and you just, by golly, it's time you brought the man a new product, right? So that's fine. So give us a call. Hey, I'm walking into this site. What do I go in with, right? Let us shoot you off some spec sheets, right? And say, hey, you want this, this, and this. This is what you're going to lead in with, right? But you have to have these conversations. And I talk to a lot of people, and we do a lot with distribution. I talk to a lot of guys, you know, and I'm like, well, what about that place over there? Have you talked to them? Oh yeah, they have cameras. Okay. Well, what kind of cameras do they have? Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, you know, I mean, so as a manufacturer that does this, right, we go on industrial sites and we are, you know, we go and, you know, with distribution, as people are trying to solve problems for their customers, right, and for their, you know, clients, right, we want to make sure that we're telling them, hey, what are you using and how is that going and is there a better way? So when you walk into a site and they've already got cameras, okay, oh, you have cameras? Oh, what are you using? Oh, that's cool. How are they working out for you? Oh, they're good. Yeah. You have to replace any of them out on, you know, out on the line or anything, all that vibration, all that stuff flying everywhere. You ever have to replace any of those? You know, ask that question. You'd be amazed at the answer you get sometimes, right? I've had people that replace cameras every week. Every week. They started buying them from eBay because it was cheaper and it made more sense. Can't blame them, right? They were buying expensive ones and they were buying cheap ones. And every week they had to replace them. Didn't matter the cost. And then we sold them our camera and they don't have to replace them anymore. So those are the kind of conversations. And this was somebody that already had a system, right? So had we walked away from that, they would sit there and they would still be doing that. That is providing a service, right? That is not making a sale. That is providing a service to them. They don't have to waste their time to go in and change that camera. They don't have to waste their time to order another camera. They don't have to waste their time to research and try to find another camera, right? That's our job, right? So that's the kind of stuff we want to think about is when we go into facilities, what can we do to help them? How can we help them? So these are products that are going to help them with their jobs and make their life a little better. So again, with the vibration stuff, here's another one. This is a vibration mount for monitors. It's a standard face mount, right? And we've got, for lack of a better word, wings, right? Like, I can't think of adapters, right? For the larger monitors as well to work with this, but this is a vibration mount. So you're thinking, well, you know, my guys don't need that, but sometimes people are putting those right in their facilities in the high vibration areas. So we've got the monitors that can go out there with the dust and the vibration, but put a vibration mount on it, right? Because again, it's all electrical components inside of the monitor. So this is just going to help to expand the lifespan of that product. So it's just a simple thing that's going to help your customer save money, right? So that's what it's all about, right? And to have a good product that they're not going to have to replace. So these are the kind of things. Grain terminal, same thing. I know we talked about it. So grain terminal, explosion-proof cameras. Not every area, but they need explosion-proof camera. It's really, really fine dust. So that's something you want to have conversation. So now when you're driving by and you see a grain terminal, shoot, pull on over, talk to those guys and find out what they're doing, right? So these are the kinds of products that we have and some of the industries that we do a lot of business in. That's not to say we've not done business in the other ones, but these are industries that are really easy, that are really common, that you can kind of go out there and say, hey, I've got something you may not have ever seen, or you may not have known was available. Or you know what, or maybe you're doing something that this just might be a better solution for you, right? So that's what we do here at Opticom, is we listen to our customers and we find out what they want, and we tweak our products to make it fit and make it work and try to solve their problems as best as we can. That is the product training for the day. Again, it is just product with industries. So if there's something that you're thinking like, hey, you know what, I've got this customer here, and you know what, I didn't hear Heidi talk about it today, but I just know they have the product that we need. Give us a call. Tell us what you're trying to do, what your customer's trying to do. If you don't really know what he's trying to do, give us a call and let's call your customer, right, and find out. And that's okay too. We like to do that because sometimes it's kind of easy because we know what we're doing. They know what they want, right? And you're just kind of facilitating. So we can chat with them and find out what they want and build out a system for you to go back to them with. So any questions, call us 1-800-578-1853. Visit our website, right? Shoot us an email, whatever you have to do. That is different industries that we're doing different things in. And, you know, we just hope that we can serve you with that and help you do your job. Thank you.